You are now listening to For All Nerds Show, a podcast about geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. For All Nerds is hosted by DJ BenHaMeen and Tatiana King Jones. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.
Welcome to the For All Nerds Show. And what's up, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the For All Nerds Show. The voice of the Urban Geek, the podcast where we discuss geek and pop culture from the perspective of people of color. And as always, in the captain's chair, it's your boy DJ BenHaMeen, a.k.a. Hash Ketchum, the Count of Crown Wakanda, Noob Say What, Project Pat McAfee, Lego My Echo, Slade Trilson, Big Dick Grayson Energy, Dr. Hugo Stranger Things. Everybody hates Martha here in the spaceship tonight. And as always, I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as J Prince of All Saying, Limp Biscuits, Glorilla Grodd, Gucci Mandalorian, Good Grief Karga, Rest in Power, Dr. Doing Something Strange for Some Change, Tesseract Thompson, Doc, Aki, and the Ting of the North.
Oh, man. Damn it. I was trying to come with a new one for Apollo Creed, too. But, I didn't.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well,
I'll definitely do that soon. Oh, yeah. You remind
that
me.
hit us hard. That's why I wanted to make sure we talked about this first, because that hit everybody hard across the industry, fans alike. Rest in power, Carl Weathers. He, known for Apollo Creed and Rocky, Star Wars, Grief Karga. That's where my AKA came from. Predator.
Let's
literally
stop right there at Predator. Like,
everything.
The greatest handshake of all time. Black man and white man come together.
Racism was over.
Racism was over. Destroyed with that handshake.
For a short period.
Of that handshake.
But unfortunately, unfortunate news that came out that Carl Weathers passed away. He was 76. While he lived a very, long and fruitful life, and he was loved by millions, obviously. I never think that anyone should pass at 76. I'm a believer that I hope, if you want to, not everyone wants to, I hope you live to at least 90. Really get to that point where it's just like, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he passed, unfortunately, and that hurt my soul for sure. That hurt my soul.
Man, I grew up on Carl Weathers. I wasn't the biggest Rocky fan growing up, but I became a Rocky fan later on in life. Like, I watched all the films and really grew to appreciate what Stallone and what Carl had done with those movies. And then with the Creed films, obviously carrying that on. But Predator, like...
I know, that's one of the things, even when I first met you, was doing that. To this day... I don't think an episode, like every 10 episodes, you're going to mention something about Predator.
Something about Predator. It's just one of my favorite films of all time. It's just perfectly cast. I've watched documentaries on it, the making of, read the script. It's just so great. And Carl's part of that magic. And one thing I just want to talk about from it is, like, they said that, because they were all in the jungle together. So it's all these dudes. They're all, Arnold, what's his name, who became the governor, from a wrestler, all these super muscle-bound men, testosterone just going through the roof. And they would all work out together, except for Carl Weathers. And Carl Weathers would always just, show up to set looking ripped. And, they're all working out together. And he's just like, oh, yeah, you guys still need to work out? Huh, whatever.
Was they juicing and he wasn't? Was that what it was?
No, this Negro would wake up in the middle of the night and go off into the jungle by himself and work out by himself so that he could just come up and show up to set ripped and act like he was just, He
was just had it like that. Yes. You want to know why that is? And I just realized this. He's a Capricorn. He was a Capricorn. He was born on, we share the same birthday, January 14th.
Wow.
And that is such a Capricorn move. We are going to move in silence in everything we do and then show up like, say something.
Show up like,
So
say something.
That is true to form for me, for sure. And what you just shared reminds me of some of the stories, literally like the day of, people were sharing on Twitter. Like there was someone, I think they were a PA or something on a set of Star Wars, of Mandalorian, and they were at the craft tent or booth or whatever, and they went to go get some snacks, something sweet. You just like Black people, you eat something, you need something sweet at the end, right? So they got some cookies and they saw some ice cream. So they put a little, and nobody else was doing it. They put a drop of ice cream and 2 cookies and put it on the side of his little plate. And he said Carl pulled up behind him and yelled out, "Ice cream sandwich, excellent," right? And he said from that moment on, like, he felt, the person who's saying this story, he said he felt like the man because, that he impressed Carl, for something little, but the fact that Carl brought so much joy and happiness and just positivity
and
to everyone he was around. And vibrancy. That's a great word.
Vibrancy
to everyone he was around.
Vibrancy to everything. Yeah. I mean, I know that him and Stallone had their differences, but the video that Stallone posted was really touching as well. I know that, immediately people were responding like, well, Stallone did this to Carl, et cetera. And I don't know exactly how it ended for them, but I know that they did create iconic work together and that, both launched both of their careers. So I know they both owe each other a great debt, and it was great to see Stallone come out and, make that plain. But man, Predator. I didn't see Arnold. I haven't seen Arnold talk about him yet. I know
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he has.
It just didn't float in our algorithm, but I'm sure Arnold.
You dropped us off in a meat grinder, like Action Jackson is another one. Like it's not a good movie to me, but it is it's a classic 80s action movie, and it's like they tried to give Carl Weathers that leading role, and he does shoot one man with a grenade launcher, but before he does, he says, "How do you like your ribs?"
So 80s and random.
Yes, and then shoots him in the ribs with the grenade launcher, So.
Oh my gosh. That also, Carl voiced a character called Combat Carl in Toy Story 4. So I'm sure that had something to do with, what's his Action Jones, you said?
Action Jackson. And
Action
Predator.
Jackson, whatever. Same difference.
all of his great 80s action roles. I mean, Action Jackson was like when he finally got the starring role, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It had its moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, respect, love to Carl Weathers. So many iconic roles. I know he was on Arrested Development. He's funny as hell. That's the other thing people don't get. I mean, I knew it from, going back to Predator and everything. But he is funny. He was charismatic. Like we said, just vibrant, just full of life. Just,
yeah.
I mean, athletic, diesel beyond belief. Just, man, it's fucking Carl Weathers, dog. Just one of the greats. Like, one of the greats. Like, just brings a smile to your face. Like, come on, man. Like,
and closer than you think as well, because it took me a couple of days to realize that back in 2017, I actually interviewed him.
Oh, shit.
When we were formerly known as Fan Bros. I interviewed him at Comic-Con, and we'll put up the link on our socials, but I'm looking at the video right now. Like, he was, at the time, he was promoting Explosion Jones. I don't know if you remember that. I think it was a short-lived series that was on FX or El Rey Network. That's what it was.
Where the fuck was I?
I don't know where you were, but I interviewed so many people that year. I was definitely overworked that year, but I mean, it was an incredible conversation. As I'm watching it, like, this man was huge too. He's just like this big hulking figure.
Bro. Yeah, man. Predator. Like, that nigga's out of swole. Like, he's up there with Arnold. You gotta remember, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Carl's standing right next to him.
Yeah, but I remember him being very kind, and he made me laugh. Like, I see myself laughing during the conversation, and it's about like a 2.5 minute long conversation I had with him. But he was just so cool. And I just, definitely just the fact that, 6 degrees of separation type stuff. Like, it was 1 degree of separation. We literally talked to the man, and he enjoyed the conversation with us too. So again, rest in power, Carl Weathers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
2017.
Man, been a minute.
Yeah.
I'm tight. I didn't get to speak to him, but give me some good news real quick.
All right. Good news is we know, and I hope people listen, that you were a guest on the new and improved Drunk Black History show starring American Collins, featuring DJ BenHaMeen, one of the authors of Hendrix, one of the most prolific, famous worldwide DJs in all of the 616. Also, you guys, I know he basically interviewed you on that show.
Oh yeah, I got to go back and listen to it because I was drunk.
Yeah.
You know, as was my want.
I mean, it's called Jump Black History, so that's the name of the game.
So I still need to. I do want to go back and listen to it because I want to. I always like to hear myself get interviewed because I'm so used to interviewing other people. So I like to hear, interviews and see what I say during the interview. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. And we did talk about Hendrix, which if you're watching right now on YouTube or on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds, you can see right here the big front page of Titans. This is previews the comic shop's catalog, as it's known. And so every different company has their little section in here. Yeah. And Titan Publishing has their section. Double page spread, opening
I was just
of
gonna
Titans.
Say, there's 2 pages, so it's serious.
Yes, this is Titans opening to their section of this month's previews. Boom, double page spread, as it's called, a gem of the month. Hendrix. Yes.
Do you? Last week we were talking about how you were trying to get in and understanding this is happening. Does this feel more real now?
Hell yeah, this
now that you have the
feels
paper,
way more real. And I've also talked to my editor, and they confirmed some more things. So yeah, I mean, this is seeing this. Like I said, when I saw it in previews last week, it was starting to feel really real. But holding it in my hand and knowing that comic shops around the world are now pre-ordering, so please go pre-order Hendrix Purple Haze from your local comic shop, or from Amazon, or from your local bookstore, or from a big bookstore. I don't give a damn where, but pre-order Hendrix Purple Haze right now. Stop this podcast and go pre-order it, and then come back and listen to the rest.
Yes.
Oh, see, you did it. Thanks.
Yes. and also just a reminder to people, when we talk about the creative process and how much real time goes into these things, years. Now, I made the analogy or euphemism that DJ BenHaMeen has been working on this all his life, which in fact, in many ways he has, but literally the production of this title has taken years. And it's, and in that time, BenHaMeen has worked on other things. So that's why I just want to remind people of things like that. By the time you see most films, by the time you see certain TV shows, by the time you see certain works of art, it's years in the making, years past that point. So, it's a lot in terms of there could be a huge difference of where that person was mentally, creatively when they did that project to now. Sometimes they've just been sitting there waiting for the moment. Sometimes like in BenHaMeen's case, it doesn't feel real until it's actually sitting out there in the flesh. So just want people to be mindful of that.
Yeah, and for this feels like it feels like one of the best things I've written. I know I'm gonna write many more things in the future, but even with that, it's going to be interesting because this is, it's a few years old at this point, at least the genesis of the idea. The revisions of it were done, up until months ago, but the genesis of the idea is years old. So it's going to be interesting to see how it holds up, I guess, but to everyone else it's brand new, new to you. And to me, it's like, oh man, we came up with this a minute ago.
Right.
But yeah, to everyone else, it's to be brand new and interesting. So this whole process has been so weird. And Mello, in this book is credited as the critically acclaimed writer of Blade Runner. He's been through this before. I've never been through anything like this before. So this is so interesting to me, honestly. And I was looking at Airbnbs and hotels. Oh my God, the hotels for fucking San Diego are already redunk. I don't know how people do it. You can't get a hotel. It's already $500, $600 a night.
Okay, well, good, because
for average shit.
What are we supposed to do then? Because we don't have a hotel.
I'm looking at Airbnb already, so that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to book I'm about to book in the next week because it's confirmed. It's coming out. We're launching at San Diego Comic-Con. It comes out everyone else will be able to get it the Wednesday after that.
Yeah.
July, so it's fucking nuts, man. This shit's
I actually
nuts.
forgot about that. I have no flight, no nothing. I forgot all about this.
Me either. It's time to get on it because, Yeah.
So San Diego Comic-Con is July 25th through July 28th, 2024.
Yep.
So gotta get up on that. Also, y'all should get up on my quotes interview in USA Today.
Nice.
Yes, yours truly was one of the featured voices in an article titled Issa Rae says Hollywood needs to be accountable. Here's why diverse shows are so important. Shout out to Felicia Riddell, who interviewed me. And also shout out to Cheyenne and Wulu. She also was good company, joined me in this article. But we basically talked about, how we felt about Issa Rae's comments about, the industry being fucked up, especially with how it comes to Black-led shows and how the creativity is being stifled and how all that DEI stuff was bullshit. And also like her comments like in Time, like I love what she has said. That was even the title of our last week's episode, Scared and Clueless. And that's how she feels about the executives when it comes to pushing diversity in the entertainment space and the lack of support and all this other stuff that, again, us this podcast being 10 years in the game is just like, yo, this is a big giant fucking circle. Like, wasn't we just fucking talking about this? So
yeah, and it's like today I was in Anyone Comments speaking with the owner Dimitri, and Dimitri and Joe Illich have put out the Black Guide to, I can't remember the official name to it, to comic books, and they've had 2 volumes of this where they list all the comic book shops that are owned by Black and people of color, and all the books that are written and created by Black people and people of color. And at one point after the Black Lives Matter movement and et cetera, they had a 33% rise in people of color hirings, et cetera, comic shops, everything being created. Then now we are negative. That 33% has been erased, and they've taken steps back in 2024.
Of course. Because they're not being publicly taken to task anymore.
Nope.
And this is not a blame on the public. This is clearly on the blame is with the studios. The blame is with the decision makers and the bigwigs and the corporate heads and everything, who were all lip service from jump. It was all lip service from jump, because I've always felt this. If they really fucking cared, they would have been doing this since the beginning. If it really fucking mattered, the impetus wouldn't have been Black Lives Matter. The impetus wouldn't have been Black people dying, not that we have stopped, but dying in the streets and it being on TV every other day. That this wouldn't have been an impetus. But, all that was lip service, and I didn't believe it. Not from a I told you so perspective, but just from a it's for me, it's about action. I want to see what you do, not what you say. And y'all wasn't doing shit before, so here we are.
Well, let me say I told you so, because I said from the jump that I thought the phrase Black Lives Matter was the weakest shit I'd ever heard. I'll still say that to this day.
I believe that.
Yeah, I believe that Black Lives Matter have always mattered in this country. It mattered during slavery. It matters now when they're shooting us in the streets. It always matters. We're capital, so that matters. But the idea that Black Lives Matter, now is some bullshit, and it was weak, and it had no power to it. And that's what I always said, because I'm not old enough to have been there, but I know that there was other phrases like Black Power and power to the people. Power to the people, power to all people. So that is a much more powerful phrase than Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter, one, is diversive, and it doesn't say
divisive.
Shit. Divisive and divisive. It's everything.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
that's interesting that you think it's divisive. Okay.
Hell yeah, it is. Because people are like, because white, all right, it's divisive, like in the way that white people are going to be like, and it doesn't do shit for Black people. So it's pointless to me. So it's like, so at least if you're going to have white people being, you can at least say Black Power, or you can say power to the people.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
So is it divisive in its phrasing, or is it divisive in the way certain people take it? It's divisive in its phrasing
and how people take it. And Black people will take it a different way because of its phrasing. Because I took it a different way as being fucked up. Bullshit. This is to do nothing.
You took it as it being weak. I'm talking about people who literally the only way they saw it was, well, what about white lives? Or what about this life?
Yeah, who cares about them? Because
when you say divisive, that's what I'm thinking.
Those type of people are going to be upset no matter what you say. So fuck them. But if you're going to say something that matters. Black Lives Matter doesn't matter.
Wow.
I've said it before. I wasn't as harsh about it before because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. But fuck that shit. It didn't matter. All it did was make some people rich.
While I don't 100% agree with your sentiments, what I did agree with you on was the fact that from a marketing and branding perspective, it wasn't strong. And I'm a
No.
marketing, I
And
have a
then,
marketing degree.
and
So
then,
it just pure, and this is pure from a business culture perspective, because especially in a capitalistic society, you got to look at it in that way.
Yep.
Like, it was hard to market that. And I said, there's aspects that I get what you're saying.
It marketed very well for the people it needed to market well for.
Oh, man.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, you want to talk about, it being a business and everything, and that's what it was. And I'm not about that business shit. I'm about shit that says, like, power to the people. Shit is like taking the power away from the people who have it and giving it back to the people. I'm about socialism. I'm about things like that. I'm not about capitalist shit. I'm not about creating more black capitalists. I think that's a waste of time. I don't feel like that's going to save, like the world if there's more black billionaires. I just feel like, more billionaires is more of a problem.
That's fair.
Yeah. So a couple more black millionaires might help, but even then, I don't, give away your money. Let's figure out a way to make, money for everyone, universal basic income, things of that nature. But all this whole, back to the wrap it up with this point, Black Lives Matter and all that, man, that shit was such a, and it's like, that's where you see the effect now, because now we have even less, books being created. And I will say part of that is on the people. And that's something that we're going to focus on more on this show. And we do focus on it, but I'm about to start doing videos where I'll be covering independent, black-owned, creator-owned books, things of that nature. I mean, we do have Hendrix, coming from me, which is it's from Titan, but it is a independent, published creator right here. So, that's we're going we're going to cover that. But what I do want to say is it's on the people to seek these things out, right? Like, there was this big push for the whole recast T'Challa thing. I know I'm attacking everybody's phrase right now, but that was another one that I didn't like because it centered everything around T'Challa instead of centering things on there's all these characters that are created by black people and brown people and people of color and ostracized people. So why aren't we focused on all of them? And I used to say that to the recast T'Challa people. I'm like, when was the last time you bought an independently creator-owned comic book that features a POC? Why are you so focused on this one that comes from Marvel, who can do anything they want with this character at any time?
Because people want to change what the mainstream is doing. The mainstream has the loudest voice.
And that's not how revolutions ever work. You want to start a revolution, you change one person. You don't change 10 people. That's not how they work. You change one person 100%. You don't change 100 people 1%. And that's all you're doing with a book like Black Panther. We talked about this before. Like, as much as I love Black Panther, I even said something like Abbott Elementary, which returns next week, is more important than Black Panther. And even Abbott is another show that's created by a large corporation that we have no control over. So we need to do better at supporting things that we do have control over. And one last thing, since I'm tearing down everybody and finish this up, the fucking Grammys, bruh. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about the Oscars. We talked about the Oscars last week. I don't want to hear this. No, never again, fam. Like,
hear what?
I don't want to hear shit. Like, I don't want to hear who won, who lost. I don't care. I said this, if you're making black music and you're seeking the gaze of white people, you're not doing right by making black music. You make black music for black people. And then what happens after that happens. But this, like, oh my God, I didn't get a Grammy. Who gives a fuck? Like, Beyonce's album is Beyonce's album. It wasn't for them. Like,
yeah, and I also think it's two things can be true at the same time. And Beyonce is actually indicative of that. Like, you don't hear her talking about, oh, I didn't get a Grammy, but it's true what Jay said, that by the numbers and by logic and even popularity, that she should have had Album of the Year, for example. At the same time, Jay and being regardless of how you feel about people, and I'm talking to everyone listening, regardless of how you feel about Jay and capitalism and all that stuff, they have done their own, and they have said fuck y'all streaming platform and fuck y'all publishing and fuck y'all label and done it themselves. So, but those are black billionaires too. So like I said, there's a lot of things that are right, but there are a lot of things that are true at the same time. So listen, I hear what you're saying about, you should just make the art and whatever happens, happens. Cool. I also do think people get to talk about their displeasure with
Yeah,
how
well,
shit is being handled.
to me, it's so disrespectful in the larger view of like, and that's something that Hendrix focuses on, like the larger view of what Black music is about. It's wild disrespectful to who came before you when you're worried about this shit, because who came before you put out classics that didn't get that album of the year. None of them did.
And
And
I
so
gotta
it's like
caveat
you got to
like the word worried. Like no one said Jay or me
no,
or
not
anybody
Jay
was
and
worried.
Bay. No,
They
not
just
Jay and
said
Bay.
what they
No,
said.
yeah, they can say what they say. I'm saying the people. Like that's my thing. When we're sitting here arguing about the Grammys instead of creating our own award shows or supporting our own award shows, that's when I'm saying. That's
Right.
why I put it on
Now-
the people. I'm
now
not
I
putting
gotta
on.
take
Yeah,
you to,
yeah.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's
Mhm.
fair. Now we gotta flip that because we do have our own, and people do support it. But
Yep.
what when those award shows don't even support us back? For example, interestingly, and I'm glad you brought this up. Literally, like that's the next day, I think BET started posting a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
a bunch of ad type
Yeah.
things saying "Come where you're celebrating."
Yeah.
And I thought it was cute at first, but then people started pointing out that I was like, that's interesting because if you're a queer creator of color, you aren't celebrated, and they kind of not even kind of they will ignore you. If you are in other genres that's not primarily rap or hip hop or R&B, you're gonna get ignored. So
Well, I mean, the Grammys
how
does that
am I-
too. Hey.
but further
Hey,
to your
dog.
point about us doing it for ourselves, right? And you can and again, this
I
goes
mean, I
a
wouldn't
lot
say
of different
BET is
ways.
for ourselves, so that's the other
Right.
problem.
I was just gonna say this goes a lot of different ways because technically BT ain't for us.
Yeah.
BT is owned by Viacom, and Viacom owned by the white.
Yeah.
So I get it, but
That's cheaper to
but
both.
what about shit like NAACP, where
That
like,
ain't owned by us. I don't know
I
who
don't
owns that
know,
shit.
but my point is
I
things-
doubt it.
it's like so many things can be true at once.
Yes.
It's like, yes, why don't you just push your own peoples? Okay, but then what about when those institutions is not even pushing your own people
Well,
or pushing y'all up?
But
Then
see,
what?
I've said this before though, like, and I've talked about this. The Oscars were originally created by a producer who said, if I give these actors shiny things, they'll do any fucking movie I want. So it's always been some bullshit, even for Whitey. So like when Black people are worried about what Whitey shouldn't be worried about, that's it's like, that's what I like. Come on, fam. Y'all gotta realize this shit's a joke. Like all that shit is a joke. It's like they give these awards to make people like, oh, look at you, come here, doggy, do what I want. And don't fall for the trick, fam. And then the real art doesn't win them shits. It just doesn't. It's a popularity contest. And the popular shit is not the art. The shit that pushes the limit.
And sometimes there's intersections when that's the truth, but it doesn't get awarded, as we see.
Yeah.
As we saw.
I mean,
a few times
like I said,
over.
when I found out the Prince don't have no album of the year, it's like, come on, man. Look, I like that Beyonce album, but
I think neither did Michael. Neither did Michael.
It's like,
Michael Jackson.
I mean, come on, fam. It's like, what are we talking about? Like, why? What are we talking about? Like, that should be your argument. Like, every time you go up and like you win an award, like you should go up and throw it on the ground. Like, Michael Jackson ain't win shit and then storm off the stage.
But I mean, there's people who say shit like something that popped up was like Adele. When Adele won Album of the Year, and she thanked them, but at the same time, she was like, "Bruh, I can't really accept this because Beyonce right there." She was like, "That's the one who influenced me."
Yep.
She said, "That's the one who did all," because she was talking about the Lemonade
Aretha
album
don't
at
have
the time.
one. Yeah.
Aretha,
So it's like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is a lot of things can be true at once. Like what you're saying is facts. Also, there's other things to that are offer different shades of that approach.
I just think we gotta stop making this whole, and it's damn near an impossible fight because people make a living off of it, but this outrage economy, where it's like everyone is gonna write an article, everyone's gonna get them tweets off, and it's just like all it's doing is raising the Grammys profile with every word you put into that SEO.
Well, that came into play in my view. Outrage culture came into play with social media when and not the advent of social media, maybe 5 years, 6 years in, when it was just more prevalent and like literally like people who are big time now started on social media. Hi guys, us. So But you know what I'm saying? Like that's where you got your voice and your footing a lot of times if you're a blogger or things like that. And not to say, like, obviously op-eds have always existed, you know, in newspapers and things like that. But social media literally brought the op-ed to your door from
everyone
any
has an op-ed. Yeah.
And from every background for every topic.
Yeah.
And then so people have made a living off of just being outraged.
Yes.
And you know, I have umbrage. I'm outraged over this. You know what I'm saying? So
Nigga, we got to hold up. We got to
this is where we live.
We got to take a
this
break.
This is what we're living in right now.
Because when we come back, we're going to talk about some other people who making a living off outrage. And
please. But before we take the break, hey, make sure y'all listen to BenHaMeen. Type in BenHaMeen Drunk Black History to make sure y'all listen to him. And make sure y'all type in Issa Rae, USA Today, the most recent article to read my interview.
Word up. And make sure you type in Hendrix, Purple Haze, graphic novel from Titan Publishing. And please go pre-order that joint. Thank you so much. It means the world. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Yo, it's your boy ForAllNerds. I'm tuned in to ForAllNerds.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Fantastic Frankie. I'm listening to ForAllNerds.
What's up? This is E-Man, and I'm listening to ForAllNerds.
Peace and elevation, everybody. My name is Crown, and you are now listening to ForAllNerds.
What's up, everybody? This is Troy Jeffrey Young, and you're watching ForAllNerds.
And what's up, y'all? And welcome back to this wonderful, amazing episode of the ForAllNerds Show. Thank you for joining us, man. It feels good to be back, for y'all to be here. You know, we talking to y'all about all that good stuff. Make sure y'all following on all those various platforms out there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching us right now. Hit it on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. Also, twitch.tv/DJ BenHaMeen. Oh, yeah. And bitdjenergy.com. You can check that out. That launched as well. You know, many things coming right here. You know, we got a lot of things. ForAllNerds.com. We'll be back very soon with all the beautiful merch that you know and love. I know y'all been waiting. Y'all been wondering what's going on with that. It's coming back very soon. Don't worry.
It's coming back, new and improved. Y'all gonna be very happy.
Yes.
With the you'll be very happy.
We're gonna be very happy. So
yes, and they'll be surprised too. So.
Yeah, a lot of surprises, a lot of giveaways, a lot more things coming with that. You know, we are living, we going on, things are still popping. You know, unlike some other people out here. A lot of unconfirmed reports going on right now. Is all I can say. I've talked to some of my sources. You know, I will say that I had a long call with one of my sources today. And they confirmed a lot of what I've been reading and what I've been speculating on and what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
It looks like Microsoft is going to pretty much call it a day on the
hardware.
That's the long run of it. The short run of it is that you'll be able to get Xbox games anywhere you want.
Because there won't be any more exclusives.
Yes.
So
the hardware going away is going to be like what are we on Xbox? What is the name of the one that's out right now?
Which one?
Like the big black box. What's the name of that? The
Xbox One? What do you mean?
Yeah, it's Xbox One, right?
Xbox.
Okay, well there ain't gonna be no Xbox 2.
The Series X? I don't know.
Yeah, well there ain't gonna be no Series X. There ain't gonna be no Series Next.
Series X.
Yeah, this is it. You know,
yeah.
Like, this is it.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically like what BenHaMeen is saying, this could potentially, and I mean maybe the writing's on the wall at this point. Maybe potentially is too weak of a word.
Yeah.
This could spell the end of the console wars and the end of several eras that span since I was a child. And you know, I grew up knowing nothing except there's always a console war. There's always a console war. And to be honest with you, BenHaMeen, after PS5 dropped and then the Xbox dropped, like what were we talking about now? 6 years ago at this point? Not the most recent well, damn, how long has PS5 been out now?
PS5 been out like 3-4 years.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the generation before that, that's when I actually started going, this shit is kind of done. Because, like, the only thing you had were the exclusives to really tell the difference between the two systems. And
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like there was like back in the day, like we're talking about N64 and shit like that, or GameCube and PS3s and shit like that. Like where there was market differences
Yes.
in the things, in the way shit looked, in the graphics, in the gameplay, in the libraries, right? But there were always the aspect of exclusives. And basically all the streets is saying that Microsoft is going to do away with exclusives, and that literally, especially their marquee flagship titles like Starfield,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit going to be coming to all platforms,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Not yeah. I once again, like you weren't saying I told you so. I'm gonna say it ain't allegedly anymore. It's over. It's a rhapsody, and it's basically because
crazy.
games cost way too fucking much money, and there ain't enough money to be made on Game Pass. And that's all Xbox was offering. Was, oh, you got an exclusive game? Put it on Game Pass. And niggas is like, nah, fam, we ain't making no money off of that. It cost us hundreds of $1 million in 10 years of our life making this shit. Like, nigga, please. So,
I mean, I mentioned Starfield, like they're saying, like it's said to be coming to PS5.
Yeah.
And then other titles are coming to PS5, or they have a short exclusivity on Xbox, and like 2 weeks later they on other platforms. And then the biggest, which is really pissing people off, is like shit like Gears of War. Like
when they announced that new Gears of War and it's going to be on PlayStation,
that's going to be on PS5. And then like, of course, like the streets went crazy. Pitchforks in the street. The Xbox influencers went nuts. Literally like publicly pulling support. This says they were showing pictures of themselves buying PS5s. And, signing eulogies. I guess they're red ringing of death all their Xboxes and shit like that. But, I mean, the level of smoke that Xbox is getting for all these reports.
And they don't give a fuck.
And nobody's really saying nothing except, like, Phil, like, is Phil Spencer? I almost said Phil Schiller. Phil Spencer, he wrote on Twitter, he didn't say nothing specific. He just said, we hear y'all.
Yo.
And I'm just like, we got an update for you. We hear you. And I'm like, I don't think you do. I don't think you understand how pissed off people are. And I don't agree with, I think people need to get a grip when it comes to, especially the influencers, when it comes to, fuck Xbox, and I'm going to throw my shit down the river. Like, okay, relax. I do, however, understand that sentiment about, that ecosystem that is Xbox and Microsoft and all that other shit. And then it's just concerning. It's concerning.
Well, that's the thing. Once again, we're back to this idea that we were talking about earlier about this outrage economy and how people make their living off of things. Like I noticed this. I think I'd seen it before, but it really came to focus when I saw the recast of T'Challa shit, because I was like, damn, people have really made their whole online identity recast T'Challa. Like if you look at their pages, there's nothing but recast T'Challa videos. Their Twitters are nothing but recast T'Challa, and they have nothing else to say. Like nothing. They ain't even talking about the game that's on. They ain't talking about the weather. They ain't talking about shit unless it involves recast T'Challa. So when these Xbox cats are like, I ain't talking about shit unless it involves Xbox, and then they ain't got no Xbox, of course all they can do right now is to be mad, because that's what they got to do to drive these clicks and get this money. And that's when it's like, damn, yo, you're just a slave to the money. And that's what I saw a lot with recast. I see it with Xbox. And it's hilarious to me because, I'm, old enough where I remember, the console wars when Genesis would come out and they'd be like, damn, they really just shitted on Nintendo. You would feel bad because, the new Genesis shit just looked better. And it would be like, damn, like, now it's no difference. When a PlayStation or Xbox drops, it's like,
it's not really much of a difference. I mean,
the PlayStation 5, you could barely tell the difference between that and the 4. Like,
yeah, that and there's no right. And then the difference within the platform, within the same, what I'm trying to say, company themselves.
Yeah.
So like the same the different generations. It's like an iPhone model now, where it's like really incremental updates.
Yeah, it's so incremental
because everything's so powerful and everything. Yep. Honestly, everything. Not first of all, nothing will beat PC game just in terms of sheer power, processing, and all that other stuff. So if you're just talking about number crunching and processing and all that stuff, a PC will always blow it out the water.
But that's only if you can pay, out the wires.
If you can pay out the ass.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say was, but that's where these consoles have come in because they have been significantly less than buying a gaming rig or building a gaming rig, number one. And two, getting you pretty fucking close, if not damn near at the same capabilities of a gaming, a la Xbox, right? Because that's a fucking PC, basically, right? I mean, at this point, your iPhone is a fucking PC. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, like, PC class level of processing. But the point is, like, Microsoft, I mean, I told you, I felt like 2 generations ago, I was just like, I didn't feel the excitement anymore. I didn't feel like it was much of a fat fight or battle. And apparently they've been in a distant third place all this time when it came to console sales and things like that. And then a few months ago, they bought Activision Blizzard. So, which is a gaming publisher, one of the, if not the largest gaming publisher in the world. So, like, I always saw that Microsoft kept pushing back towards the way of software. Like, okay, we'll publish games, we'll make the games, but it's going to be multi-platform. They are, I mean, like you said, it's probably in a distant future, or maybe in a 2-3 years future. I don't know how distant the future really is when it comes to them, but they may say, fuck the hardware. Like, because also it's just like, where can you go at this point?
No, it's a wrap.
Where can you go?
Yeah, it's a wrap. Like I say, there will be no Xbox next. This is it.
Yeah.
There will be a PlayStation 6. There will be no more Xbox. This is it. And I know you said you didn't want to compare them to, like, the Amigas, the Neo Geos, the Ataris.
The
Segas.
I'm not going to do that comparison because those were obsolete. Those were beat because they became obsolete and they didn't catch up. Xbox is not an obsolete system. It's powerful beyond measure. It will be because they're not going to keep developing for it. That's what I mean. And when I say develop for it, I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about the hardware itself and the platform architecture. I don't think it's a situation where they just got beat out because time went by and one nigga was a DVD and one nigga was an MP3. I don't think it's that. That's when you talk about all the old ass fucking systems, that what happened to them. They got blown out the water because time passed.
But see, let's but be correct. When it happened, it wasn't like that though. It's like, okay, Sega was developing.
So tell me.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Sega was developing along the same Nintendo, 8-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 16-bit. Is what happened to Sega, and then Nintendo just kept on going.
Well, they were not too much on Sega. That's not exactly what happened. First of all, Sega, because that's when I start coming into play. Yeah, we talk about Dreamcast. What actually happened with Sega had nothing to do with being on par technology.
No, technology-wise, they were killing it.
Technology-wise, they were
on par. But once again, and that's what I'm saying.
Past. Beyond. What they did not have was the marketing. What they did not have were the titles, and what they did not have were the people and the support behind it. Dreamcast was far and above. Dreamcast as a system was far and above all other consoles at that time. But all these other shortcomings is what doomed them, and that's what eventually doomed Sega. But listen to that, like,
and that's what's dooming Xbox.
I don't think that's
And at this point, they're the same technology. Is just too advanced where one can't be better. But what is dooming Xbox is marketing, is games, is everything else. So it is the same thing because now when PS6 comes out, Xbox will be left behind in the dust. And even if they were a better system, what killed them? They lost the war. These wars have happened before, and it is. Look, I've seen it. Like, that's what I'm saying. I've been through many of them, so it's like, that's what happens. So, Xbox is now, the memes where it's like, come on, loser, we're going, get in, loser, we're going, we're going to be obsolete. It's going to be Atari,
well, I just don't
Sega.
Like the word, because it's not like the Xbox is obsolete. That's not what's happening here.
It's not like the Dreamcast was obsolete.
But that's what I'm saying. But it wasn't. I think you're right. I think you're right in saying they had. No, I think you're right in saying they had a similar.
Get in, loser. We're going on the ride to being obsolete. It's for taking a few years.
I think what you're right in saying is that it was a similar situation to Dreamcast. That they were too much, too fast, or too ahead of time, or whatever else you want to say. But obsolete makes me gives me, again, my definition, my
Yep.
understanding of that definition of obsolete is that you're not keeping up. And that's not what's happening with Xbox. They are keeping up from a tech perspective, but that's not the issue.
It wasn't the issue with Sega either, and they both in that ride now.
It's not obsolete, though. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to
yet.
sit here and agree. The word is, you keep saying yet. It's going to be, because they're not
Yes.
going to fucking get better with this.
Yes.
They're going to say, fuck this. They're going to, yes, eventually.
Just
I'm
like
talking about right
Sega.
now.
That's
Right
what I'm saying.
now,
Dreamcast
the
at one point was,
reason-
if we were doing this podcast 20 years ago,
Yeah.
you'd be sitting there talking about Dreamcast is better. And I'd be sitting there talking about not yet. And it's the same thing. One takes the L, one takes the dub. And you
That
know,
doesn't mean obsolete, but okay.
not yet.
Stop saying not yet. That's not the reason why it's out, because it's not yet obsolete. We know that. PS5 is already fucking obsolete if you're thinking about it. So.
But that's not what we're talking about here. Dreamcast, like you said, was top of the game. But what they didn't have was game.
They didn't have game. And I'd rather you that I could get behind. You don't have the game.
Xbox top did not have game. I'm not talking about games. I'm talking about game.
No,
You know what I mean?
game.
Game.
Yes.
They ain't got game.
That I agree with that.
Yeah,
They
and
did
that's
not
same
have the right
thing.
game.
And then eventually obsolete. You know, that's what I'm saying. Not yet. It's coming. Get in, loser. We're going to be obsolete. You lost the console war. The funny thing is, Nintendo was just stabbing them in the back the whole time. You know what I mean? The whole time. Like,
How's Nintendo stabbing?
because both of them niggas, but it was just Xbox died. You know, it was like Xbox and
Nintendo
PS.
stabbing who in the back?
Both of them niggas, Xbox and PS, are sitting there battling it out, and Nintendo the whole time is just jabbing them both from the get, like, you know.
You
And
said
these,
stabbing the back like they had something together and they just betraying them. No,
no, not like
Nintendo's
that. I'm
minded-
just talking about just taking little jabs, and then Xbox
Oh,
died.
take a look. Well,
Yeah.
Nintendo has minded this business for some time,
But they was
and I will say that because Nintendo found their niche and
Yep.
they said, "Fuck it, we're not gonna compete on a hardware level. Like
Nope.
we're gonna upgrade our shit, but we're not gonna compete on a hardware level. We're gonna do shit that works for our IP because our IP is gold. Our IP is who we are, nigga. We the fucking old school card company that made it big with not Sonic, with Super Mario and the rest of them. And that is, and they are focused.
Yeah.
And Shigeru Miyamoto, long as that nigga live, that shit will never fail. Okay.
there it
That
is.
shit Nintendo will never fucking fail. Okay. So that's one thing. They're minding their business.
No, and that's what I mean.
They stand in a lane that works for them.
Yeah, Nintendo's like the environmental dangers on the
But then
on the versus battle, and
the environmental changes.
yeah, they attack
Okay,
everyone.
okay.
They just attacking everyone, and
Smash Brothers. That reminds me of Smash Brothers.
yeah, and eventually Xbox died, and now
You can
PS
argue then. You can argue
Yep.
then that Microsoft is trying to go that direction too. That they're realizing, you know what? We're not going to compete with Sony on the hardware space and all this other space.
Mhm.
We're going to, especially with the purchase of Activision Blizzard, they say we're going to fight where we know we got game. We're going to fight on the software space.
But they don't have that, and that's the funny thing.
They're trying to build that out.
Yeah.
But they do have that. They have that in exclusives. They're just trying to make those exclusives multi-platform, but they're the ones publishing it.
Niggas
So
bought Activision
I think
Blizzard.
that obviously dilutes the brand and other things. And like I said, I get the anger, but
Yeah.
here we are.
Um,
Here we are. But that also, there's more gaming news that I seen right before we started recording that Disney is investing 1.5 billion in Epic Games.
mhm.
Epic Games makes Fortnite.
Yep.
And what they basically want to do is build out a whole Disney universe
hmm
on games. So they talking about Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, what else? Avatar,
All
of all
that
things. They want to build that shit out all the way. And, so, you're going to see all this shit integrate into Fortnite, of course, but also just standalone games and standalone properties to build up. I don't even want to call it the MCU, but the multiverse of Disney is going to be out there on all platforms. And best fucking believe it.
I mean, there ain't no more. But yeah. It's the-
On all fucking
yeah,
platforms.
the two
Your
that are
phone,
left. Yeah.
your console,
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
streaming,
yeah.
everything.
There we go. Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. And like we said, the Xbox One is so powerful, that
Series X.
yeah, the Series X,
yeah.
whatever that it
Series-
don't take.
it's the Series S and Series X.
Yeah, they'll be able to, keep up, for at least the next 4 or 5 years. So they'll be good, until, PlayStation wanna. I mean, but even then, like, yeah, we'll see. So we'll see. Yeah. I think you'll be able to play these Disney games there too.
Of course.
Yep.
And because if you do love games, you love us arguing and yelling about games, let me also put y'all on that February 29th at 6 p.m. Pacific. So that's 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be one of the presenters for the Spawnies, which is talking about make shit for yourself. Well, shout out to Khalif Adams, Kajas. He's known on as one of his gamer tags.
My homie.
This is his award show for gaming.
Yep.
And it's going to be, I've never heard of this before. This is so fucking fire. It's going to be simulcast on Twitch and on IGN. On the front page of IGN, if I'm not mistaken.
Beautiful.
So that's big time. So
big time.
Make sure y'all listen and watch. As mentioned, I'm going to be one of the presenters along with other cool peoples. February 29th.
That's 2 days after my birthday. February 27th. So,
Yeah.
Big things
this is
happening.
BenHaMeen's birthday month. Remember that.
Pisces in the house, but we ain't started yet. With Pisces goes on to March. So we basically, we celebrating all this month and March. March, I'm really celebrating, let me tell you. Oh yeah.
What else we got, BenHaMeen?
What else do we have? I have a question for y'all because, the basketball's been on. I've been watching a lot of basketball lately, and they are bombarding me with commercials beyond the, Israel commercial, which is a whole another thing. They're bombarding me with commercials for this new Bob Marley movie. And
Bob Marley?
Bob Marley.
Are you about to say you a blood? Bob Marley?
Bob Marley, yeah. Blood.
Blood. You're not feeling it, BenHaMeen? Well, first of all, this is not the first time. First of all, we made a whole fucking joke about scrolls. Remember?
Yes,
last
we did.
year?
Yeah.
So when it came to the Bob Marley movie, because that's when you first got wind of it. But
Yeah.
You not. I mean,
I'm hoping for the best.
It did premiere in. Did it premiere on just the red carpet? But they did do something in Jamaica like a week or two ago. I know Prince Harry was down there along with some other people.
Oh, I wonder if Rohan there, his son. I'm actually cool.
Yeah, one of the sons was there for sure.
I'm good friends with Rohan. That's my dude, Sean Rohan. So I'm like, really.
Prince Harry and Meghan.
Okay, nice. So
they both was down there. But go ahead, sorry.
I'm really hoping for the best. I'm obviously a huge, just a massive, massive Bob Marley fan. And I love his music, but
What, are you just scared? Here's my thing. My thing is, this happens with damn near every biopic.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially
It's
about
always
a
that
legend.
fear.
It's always like, this is a little sketch. It's a little sus.
It
like,
just
I don't know how
doesn't
this is
feel.
gonna work.
This feels like it's a little sketch like all of them, but I've not heard anyone be like, nah, fam, they got this.
Have who you asked? Or you?
I mean, just in general, like the vibe ain't been out there. It's just been like everyone's just like, and I haven't heard like, nah, this director, this writer, I haven't heard nothing about that. It's like, that's just the general vibe, but no one's said anything about anyone connected to this to reassure me that this ain't gonna be a hot mess.
Well, it's a story by Terrence Winter and Frank E. Flowers. Both Terrence and Frank are white men.
Damn it! I thought I knew Terrence Winter. I thought that was a black man.
They're probably there are other people. There's other people listed as screenwriters, but as terms of story by, list these two. I mean, Terrence was known for The Sopranos, Wolf of Wall Street, Boardwalk Empire. Boardwalk Empire was lit. So
Wolf of Wall Street is fire. I just watched
Wolf
that
of Wall
shit
Street.
recently.
Obviously, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I just watched that.
So again. I mean,
that's also Martin Scorsese though. Come on, let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
And not every episode of The Sopranos is fire.
And then, like, we know the cast, right? Like Kingsley Benadir, aka Gravik, aka that nigga, king of the scrolls.
Now he is
Bob Marley.
What do you call it, right? I always get him confused, but he's not Bridgerton.
He's not Bridgerton.
Is he?
He looks like Bridgerton.
I know
that.
that.
Bridgerton.
And he's
I
not.
know you're talking about.
Yeah, and we always do this every time, and everybody says they don't look alike, and whatever. Nigga.
They don't look alike.
Yeah.
You're talking about Reggae John Page.
Yes. And so, which one was in Dungeons and Dragons?
That was Reggae John Page.
Yeah.
No. It's because I just don't remember.
Yeah,
if he
think
was
about it.
In there, that was Reggae John Page. Yeah.
Oh damn! Well, he's great. So, all right, and he's also Bridgerton. So, what else has this Negro done other than Scrolls?
King Bentley Bentley? Bentley. I call him Bentley. I put his name together. Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was in the OA.
Mm.
He was in, like I said, he was bitch ass graphic. He was a Canon Barbie. Did not know that. Did not realize that anyway. Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Something called Deep State. King Arthur. I'm just going down the list. I'm trying to name something that World War Z. He was uncredited though. I mean,
Yikes.
He's on a come up. So this is probably his biggest role to date.
And they give you Bob Marley? Can a nigga sing? Can a nigga play a guitar?
Do you like the way he looks as Bob?
No. Straight up. No.
I didn't expect you to say no that fast.
Yeah, straight up. No. The nigga looks like himself. And like, Bob is much thinner, it's just no. No. And that's another issue. It's like when you have like Bob, people of this nature who are born in the years of video where there is so much video footage of Bob. So it's very difficult. It's like with Malcolm X. There's so much footage of Malcolm talking, speaking, doing all these things. So Denzel, that's why he's such a beast. Even I love Ray, but I feel like Ray is, Jamie Foxx is one of the ones where Jamie's so talented. And even with Ray at parts, it feels a little bit, pushing it, I will say, but I think it's really great. But that's what I'm saying. And Jamie's incredibly talented. Denzel's incredibly talented. This cat's on the come up. I'm not sure about incredibly talented, so.
Okay,
ouch.
but then that's also not fair because my thing is maybe not you personally, but we as many people often complain that the same people, and I'm not talking about the ones that are just
I want a
so
new
fucking
nigga,
good,
yeah.
that the same people be getting opportunities and no new niggas get the opportunity.
True.
So it's just like, if he was able to meet this, to be able to play this role, perhaps he deserves, or we don't know until we see. You don't know how good he could be with
I didn't think that Rami Malek should have played, Freddie Mercury. So it ain't just black people I hate on.
No. I'm just saying the fact that, and Rami don't count because he was already big, but I'm just talking about people who haven't even had a chance to really do something big. Because like, to me, based on his IMDb, this is probably the biggest thing he's ever done. So, Kingsley. But also Lashana Lynch is in it. She plays Rita Marley, his wife. No response?
I mean, I like Lashana,
Okay.
It's just
Rita
the
Rainbow.
overall, I don't know. This trailer has done nothing to inspire me. We were asking this question, what is going to be a bigger L, this or Madam Web?
Madam Web.
See,
Madam Web for fucking sure.
No, because this
Whatever.
has like Madam Web is just like I can go to Madam Web and expect nothing and enjoy myself if it gives me anything.
Okay, so now you're moving the goalpost though on what do you mean by worse? Let's start there. Let's define what you mean by worse, and then
It's like what we talked about in that video that's now on our Instagram and all our social media where I was talking about real estate. Like, Bob Marley biopic has to do a lot more to be good.
It does have to do a lot more. But that's like so...
To be worth my time. Like, I expect Madam Web to be Fast and Furious.
Okay.
And not even one of the good ones.
Madam Web looks like fucking Morbius. It looks like Morbius.
And I enjoyed my time in the theater watching Morbius. I will never watch it again.
Seriously?
I wasn't like sitting there like
I wanted to rip my pupils.
I was laughing too hard most of the time.
That shit was.
I
was with you? Was we together?
I think so.
We were at a screening together.
I was rolling.
I wanted to leave.
I was roasted and I was rolling.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's like when I saw Venom 2. Like, I thought Venom 2 was hilarious. I'll never watch it again.
Venom is in a different way. It's like, it's not the best, but it's not the worst.
It was pretty bad.
Hilarious.
That movie had a cameo from Little Sims. It was pretty bad.
I just think it was hilarious.
Love Little Sims. But
I think Venom was hilarious in ways that Morbius was not.
No, it was. You're right. But Morbius was hilarious in ways that Venom was not, because Morbius was terrible, and so it was hilarious.
There's different levels of hilarious. There's hilarious because this is bad, and this is hilarious because this is unconscionable. And I feel like Morbius
Yeah.
was more on the unconscionable side.
I think Venom was hilarious because it was bad and it knew it was bad, and so it made hilarious jokes.
It made fun of itself,
Yes.
and that's different. That's a level of self-awareness that you got to give props to. Like, all right,
Yeah.
you know what it is. You know what time it is, right?
Yeah.
You know what type of time you want. Morbius did not know what type of time it was on. It took itself too seriously.
And I think Madam Web should
did.
do that same thing, and I can't wait to see that.
Which is why I said that's the little sister, and that's why if we're just saying,
I can't wait.
and I know this is hard because technically these are apples to oranges, right? We're talking about a whole biopic versus a whole
hot mess
potentially. So I guess for me personally speaking, I'm going to have a worse time at Madam Web than I would with
I don't think so. I think I'm having a worse time with Bob Marley because I'm gonna be like, God damn, unless it is that good. If it's that good,
it is that good, but I mean, you gonna be eating your words? You come
No,
back
I'm
here?
no, it's not eating my words. I'm hoping. My words are hope.
Okay.
My words are
Okay.
hope that this shit is amazing, and I'm like, I had no idea this dude is really that good. That's my hope.
What did you think of his acting as Gravik? No?
It's not inspiring me to be like, you can pull off Bob Marley. You know what I mean?
So it didn't inspire you? No, that's something completely different. But like, I think he can act.
Yeah, I think he can act.
And the silence. Okay.
Acting and playing Bob Marley is a big difference. That's topic. Wasn't that?
Yeah, it is a big difference. Well, here's something else to piss you off.
He should have been a Madam Web.
Something else to annoy you.
You talk about giving nigga an opportunity. There you go. Nigga could have been right there. He could have played that villain. That nigga looks like he got no charisma.
Your friend Enron Musk is funding the lawsuit for Gina Carano.
Stop lying.
Sue
First of all, he ain't
Disney.
funding shit. That nigga say he funding.
When I say, regardless, it doesn't matter. He's loaning her a couple Teslas and she's selling them. The point is, Enron.
They recalled every Tesla they ever made.
Enron, Elno, that stupid idiot, whatever you want to call him, he is helping. Elroy. He's helping Gina sue Disney for being fired from The Mandalorian. Now, she was fired back in 2021 over her social media post where she compared being a Republican to being Jewish during the Holocaust, which, that's good luck on that one. And Lucasfilm just decided to recast her. Or I don't even know they decided to recast her. They actually just got rid of that character altogether, right?
Yeah. They said she died on the way to our home planet.
Right. And wasn't that? I feel like that's an old video game that does that. So like,
it's The Simpsons. Poochie.
The dog, right?
Yeah, Poochie. Yeah.
Poochie died on the way to his home planet. But that's so funny that you remember that.
Oh,
but
come on now.
That's so
the
funny.
first 2 or 3 seasons of The Simpsons are like embedded in my brain. That's like all those jokes were like incredible. So yeah.
So the suit is for wrongful termination and discrimination of all things, and it's saying that it has a demand that Lucasfilm has to put her back in the show and pay her at least $75,000 in punitive damages. And as I said, Enron is allegedly funding this suit, helping her to pay for her legal fees and shit like that, because he says because it occurred over a tweet. He says, well, we have a commitment to free speech, so we're going to help Gina. You're going to help a bigot. Okay.
I hate that I'm bringing up recast again, but it feels like this is almost in the same situation where people are demanding something from this mega corporation, and then it's like you don't know what you're asking for. Like, imagine if T'Challa was in the MCU right now, as bad as the MCU is right now. You know what I mean? They'd be like, damn, like they'd probably be wasting this time too.
My she is super.
No, like, imagine they put her ass back on. Like, would you really want to be on The Mandalorian right now?
Hell no! And that was the second point I was going to make. Like, how fucking dumb and moronic
you missed
are
the
you?
boat, bitch.
Your boat. Your boat. Your Carnival cruise has sailed 3 seasons ago. Like, first of all, who the fuck knows what's going on in Mandalorian? Like, honestly, anything is going on. But also, like, nobody cares anymore. Like, is it really that serious? First of all, and that's number one. No one cares. Number two, why do you care when if apparently you've bothered to keep following along what's going on and you see that the story has nothing to do with your character anymore and there's no room for your character anymore. That's number 2. Number 3, why would you want to insert yourself back in there knowing niggas don't like you?
Yeah.
Off rip. I don't like you. I don't like what you said. Niggas is not going you're going to face hell from the moment your ass reappears on screen. Why would you want to be in the mix of that? Why would you want to force your way back there? And first of all, you being recast doesn't necessarily mean the writers will treat you kindly. They could kill your character off every 5 minutes if they fucking wanted to.
I mean, they could kill your character off screen, and then you could be
off screen again.
You could still be recast.
Like what is the point?
Yeah.
Or if you get recast, you get into one episode, and then she got hit in that airlock. Oh,
died on the way to her home planet.
Right? Like it's just.
She'll be like, "Yo, man!" Like first scene, she shows up. Commander, I'll be right back. I gotta run to my home planet.
And then it will be the Star Wars crawl.
Yeah.
What's the character's name? Character died on the way to their home planet. And then the fade out.
And then keep going on to the next line.
And keep going.
Yeah, just another line. Like,
I don't even remember her character's name. I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't even remember.
Something died on the way. Yeah,
I'm scrolling through this article.
Cares?
Oh,
Cara Dune. That's right, Cara Dune. Cara Dune.
Whatever the fuck.
Anyway, on to the nets. I've been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon Prime. The new remake by Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. Yeah, I got that right.
How is that? Because I have not been compelled to watch it whatsoever. It didn't draw me. Like I was a big fan of the movie, the original. I guess that's a remake. But
I'm not sure. In fact, let me click on it right now.
I'm talking about the one with Brad Pitt and Angelina. I don't know. I think that was
original.
Supposed to be a remake. That's the original.
As far as I see,
they didn't do a remake or for something. I always thought, I always
thought so too. But yeah, I think
because of my age, I thought that was the first one, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm looking on the Wikipedia. I think that was the first one. That's interesting because I always thought that was a remake too. But yeah, that was the first one, and this was developed by Donald and Phoebe, the woman who created Fleabag, and she was supposed to be Mrs. Smith. It was supposed to be the two of them, but she left for due to creative differences. They've been talking about it a lot recently. They said it was like a divorce. They had different views on how the series should go, so she left, and then Maya came in to play Mrs. Smith, and I think Donald pretty much ran the room from then on. Today we're talking about this. I didn't know that she wrote all of Fleabag by herself. She didn't have a writer's room, so she just wrote that shit. So
two A types.
They're two A types. They're two big A types. Obviously.
That's hard.
Yeah, very hard.
That's just hard.
So
how is it, Ben? Like I said, I just have not felt compelled to watch it. It was nothing about it that drew me.
It's definitely, the premise is different from the film. All right, that's the one thing. They don't start off. It starts off with them both accepting a job from a mysterious corporation, and the job is basically to be a super spy. But they don't know each other, none of this stuff. They're just both, people, you don't get to know too much about them in the pilot, little things, hints here and there. But they both apply for this job, they both get accepted, and they both get put into a house and are told, this is your husband, this is your partner, this is your wife, basically. Get together and do this work. Start putting in some work. And they put in work from the beginning. And, at the beginning, they make a pact to never get involved with each other, never sleep together. Of course, that shit goes out of the window after they blow some shit up. Drama brings people together. They fuck, develop a relationship. And then the show moves on from there.
Okay.
I'm, I think, 5 episodes in right now. Out of, I think,
How
8
many
episode
episodes?
season. I'm enjoying it. It is a bit slow, but then once it picks up. Certain episodes have been very solid. Like there was pretty much every episode has had some type of guest star. So my man Hellboy has been in one episode.
Lou Pearlman, not Lou Pearlman.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman was in an episode. There was another Parker Posey showed up. I loved that episode with her. Paul Dano's been in it. John Turturro. The John Turturro episode. I like Paul Dano. Yeah, the John Turturro episode was a little something. That was pretty wild. It was
okay.
Yeah, so I've been enjoying it. not like mind-blowing good. It's definitely no Atlanta so far, at least. It's
Give
got
me some adjectives.
It's got some of the weirdness of Atlanta.
Okay.
But much more
weird.
Yeah, but much more straightforward. But just a little bit of that quirkiness of Atlanta.
Quirky.
Yeah,
it's quirky. Is it action? Okay.
Action's lit.
Okay.
Action is lit. The romance, interestingly, like Maya, I find their chemistry to be very good.
There is chemistry.
Yeah, they definitely have chemistry.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I would have liked Phoebe better than Maya. I'm not sure. That's debatable.
You mean just the way they look together?
Yeah, look together. My personal attraction, et cetera. I don't know. But at times in this, I find Maya very attractive, and I feel their chemistry. So I get it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's keeping it from being great, in my opinion, so far. So far, it's just good. Yeah.
From a story perspective, or?
Yeah, I think overall it's just good. I don't know. It's just not great.
Is it because because I fully expected something along the, I mean, I shouldn't completely expect, right? Because this is 2024, but something along the lines of the film. But you're saying it's a departure. It has the very minimal basic premise, but then it goes off on its own.
Yeah, but then it goes off on its own. But it's still got that feeling of the film, a couple arguing, or, a couple doing this, a couple
doing
living together. Doing spy shit together. Yeah, so it's got all that in it. It's even kind of like what happens at the end of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Because at the end of Mr. and Smith, they're together doing spy shit. So
right.
this is basically
before they were against each other, right?
But before they didn't even know that the other, either one was spies.
Right.
And then at the end they formed their own agency, then they're working. So this is more like that. So it takes that premise and it works with it. Yeah, I don't know what's keeping it from being great so far. It's just, dude. People make idiotic decisions, and Donald Glover's character in particular just comes off like a fucking moron sometimes. Where I'm like, what the fuck? Just like ridiculously, stupidly unbelievable, and that's what's holding it back. Yeah, there we go. Took me a second to get to it, but yeah, there we go. Man's a fucking
good
idiot.
job finding that out.
Jesus Christ, nigga's an idiot. Like,
yeah,
he should be dead.
Maybe I'll bite and watch one episode. I mean, I know clearly
it starts slow.
You said it takes a while to get
the pilot. Well, it is long.
What episode would you say you actually started getting into it?
3, I think. By 2, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching it. Yeah, but 3 is like when I was like, ooh, okay. And then 4, that one with Perlman, that shit was
okay.
That shit was pretty lit too. That was the last one.
Was it lit because Perlman was there?
No, he's great, but it's just lit. It's just a great episode. Yeah. He's great, but he's all through the episode, but he's just not like, it's not him. It's just Perlman's great, but it's like he's not why the episode is great. It's their relationship as it's building, everything that's going on with them. But again, this motherfucker Donald, Mr. Smith is a fucking moron to the point where I'm like, it's straining believability. Yeah. Because he's such an idiot. Yeah.
Because he's such an idiot. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's making it difficult for me. This man's a fucking moron. Right.
Ben, I know there's a trailer we want to watch. I also wanted to mention, this wasn't really a trailer. This was just a teaser. But surprisingly, Moana 2 was announced. And it's dropping in 2024. And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Because I was not expecting that. Apparently, they were developing this kind of sequel as a TV series. But Bob Iger was really impressed with the footage, so he ordered it to become a feature film. So, like, I'm both excited and scared because I'm like, well, damn, that level of fast track, like, because this was literally a surprise drop. So I'm just like, whoa.
I knew they were doing part 2, though. I knew that they were doing.
Yeah, but to go, not to say that I don't know how easy of a leap it is to go from TV to.
I didn't know that's what exactly happened because I thought that was always to be a film.
Yeah, it was originally developed as a TV series. And Iger said, this looks fucking cool. Make it a film. And, Moana's huge property.
Man, that's my turn.
Music was incredible. Acting was incredible. Everything about it's one of the better Disney movies, fuck Wish.
Yeah.
But, I'm just saying, like, and so again, I'm a huge Moana fan. So I was just like, I heard it. I was like, yo, that's what's up. But then when I saw where it's coming from and the fact that it's dropping this year, I was just like, Is it gonna have enough time to develop? Is it already developed and they just gonna move some shit around? Like, I don't understand. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
not really. Other than that I'm not hyped. You know, like I love Moana.
You're not hyped for it?
No, I loved it. I don't need another one.
I think the story was really nice the way it ended. But it's Disney, right? They're gonna capitalize.
I know, and then sometimes they hit. Like, I never thought I needed multiple Toy Stories, and you know, I did. So
you did. Each one better than the last, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah. So just, you know, but why not? I guess, you know, is all I'm saying. It's like,
I guess.
Yeah.
And then of course this I was with the oh my god face this morning. They dropped the first trailer for A Quiet Place Day 1, starring our girl Lupita Nyong'o.
Yep.
Also stars Jaimin Hansu and Alex Wolff and some other people. Do we have that trailer, BenHaMeen?
We do, but I think we're gonna have to skip watching it. I remember. Yeah, I remember it's something that, you know, every time we do these trailer watches.
They cut us.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to figure out. We're gonna figure out a way to get around it. I think we'll have to make like the trailer watch episodes exclusive, and then cut the trailers up a little bit. So yeah. So,
but did you watch the trailer?
Not
I watched
yet.
it a couple times.
I don't. I mean, you know, Lupita. Look, it's Lupita.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's also, nigga, I didn't need more than this one. I did not need more than one Quiet Place. And the second one showed me.
Fan,
no, the second one showed me I did not need more than that first one. And I watched it.
The second one wasn't.
There we go. You said it.
Let me be clear. The second one wasn't necessary, but I still enjoyed myself. I still thought it was a win in terms of direction. I still thought it was a win in terms of sound. Sound engineering, and what do they call it? Like just
sound engineering. They've done it already. It's like, that's what I'm saying. I didn't feel like it was...
but I mean, but they lean more into, I guess, from a technicals perspective. I was really hyped for Quiet Place 1. Like the story, that shit went. Everything about it was, oh my god, this is incredible. Then 2, I was more in tune with the technical perspectives of it, like all the technical work and creativity I went into it. That's what drew me the most into it. And then this is essentially the prequel, right? Like. Mm-hmm. This it takes place in, I mean, you'll see the trailer, but it takes place in New York because that's where all disaster movies fucking start. And, you know, literally hell comes raining down in the form of these monsters. And then you see what, like, you know how we always talked about that, like Quiet Place took place in the countryside or in the cut. What happens when you know, these niggas was raining down on the biggest cities in the world. Like, so what did that look like? So just imagine all the crazy shit you know about the Quiet Place, but in New York. And Lupita Nyong'o, and Jaimin. And Jaimin, he was actually in the other Quiet Place movie. I'm not mistaken, the one that we just saw, Quiet Place 2. I think he was in the previous Quiet Place.
I forgot. I forgot everything about the second one. I mean, honestly, I liked them both. You know, like you said, the second one was entertaining. You know, I forgot anything that happened in it. You know. Yeah.
It wasn't better than the first, but it was absolutely entertaining.
And I thought the first one, I've read the script and seen the film. I thought they were both great. Yeah. But also done. You know, it's like I needed one and done. No, I never needed another.
You don't even care about how shit started.
Hell, fuck no. Like, I know how it started. The niggas came, and you know, then they murdered niggas.
And it's, I mean, honestly, all it is carnage.
Yeah, right? And like, I'm good on that.
It's just like, now see what happens when you're in a big city with millions of people.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
And bridges that get blown up.
Yeah, because it's like them things are murderous. Like, you know, it's like there's it's not a fight.
There's nothing else to it.
Yeah, there's not a fight. They slaughter you. You know, so
there's nothing else to it.
That's what I mean. This feels also disingenuous. It just feels like, you know, a cash grab, because
it is a cash grab.
Like, we know Lupita's going to survive when
maybe her cat will survive.
When in all reality, she should get murdered.
She has a cat in the trailer, so I think it might survive.
No, that cat's gonna make it, and Lupita's gonna make it. Both of them are gonna make it.
John's gonna make it, but
no, John ain't making it. And look,
he is, because like I said, I think he was in the last one, and that's like 2 years later. So
okay, I didn't remember that. I want to see Lupita in some sexy shit. Let's be for real. I'm tired of seeing her being scared, running around. You know, like, I need to see Lupita in a love. You know, like some hot shit. Or being, you know, more whoop ass Lupita. I don't want to see, you know, Lupita. You know, I'm good.
Oh, you don't want to see struggling Lupita. Yeah, and I'm right. I just confirmed Jaimin was in part 2. So
so maybe he's Lupita doesn't make it.
Survive. He was in part 2.
No, I
Part 2
said
is
maybe
in the
Lupita doesn't make it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a possibility.
Dun, 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 dun. And I'm definitely not there for that.
You don't want to see her in a struggle. What's the last film Lupita's been in besides this one?
I don't know,
what's the last
man.
time you really saw her on the big
She was
screen?
in this not terrible. I didn't even finish it though. She's in some movie where she plays like a teacher and this white dude was hitting on her and I was like, I turned that shit off.
Not happy about that.
Not the movie.
I mean, Black Panther, yes, but besides that, right? And Black Panther was 2022.
She got a terrible agent.
Is that, or is it because she's been going through things personally and she?
There was the strike. There was all that shit too. Who knows?
And the strike, right? There's a lot of stuff. You don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
But I love
God damn
Lupita.
it.
So
no, look, that's what I'm saying. Get it,
Yeah.
not her get it together. Hollywood get it together. This fucking Lupita. Like she should be in everything by now.
I'm still mad. This is besides the point, but I'm still so mad in Star Wars she ended up being Maz Kanata.
What the fuck?
When I say that she should have been a fucking Jedi, or anything else that wasn't an alien, a Jedi, a Sith, something,
anything.
You can see her face.
Show me that beautiful woman. Anything.
So
the disrespect is real out here.
Yeah.
I mean, even Idris Elba, when he played the alien in Star Trek, at the end, he turned back into Idris Elba. No, straight up. He did. Hey, y'all. Thank you for watching this For All Nerds video. Whatever video it was that you just watched, make sure you hit these buttons below. Press all those buttons, that like, that subscribe. Whatever you see right below these fingertips right here, just hit them, hit them, hit them.